Day turns to night as a solar spectacle sweeps Exmouth. Tonight, see the rare eclipse as it unfolded in the sky this morning. Emotions spill over as 62 seconds of totality plunges the region into darkness. Plus the amazing view of this rare wonder from space. And there's breaking news tonight. A light plane crash lands into the ocean at Leighton Beach.
This is 9 News Perth with Michael Thompson, live from Exmouth.
Good evening. There's a massive operation underway right now off Leighton Beach. A light plane has crashed about 20 metres offshore. Emma Griffiths, what can you tell us tonight?
Well, 2 people were on board that light aircraft, Michael, when it crashed into the water at around 5:10 here off Leighton Beach. A 45-year-old woman and a 15-year-old boy. That woman and boy both made the swim back to shore, according to witnesses. The woman has since been taken away by an ambulance, while the 15-year-old boy has been checked over here by St John's. Now, the cause or why it came down is still yet to be determined, but we've got a heavy police and ambulance presence down here on the scene as they try to piece what went so horribly wrong. But it crashed about 30 to 50 metres here off the shore, and yeah, we're still trying to piece together what happened here down at Leighton Beach.
Emma, thank you. There's been perfectly clear skies here in Exmouth for this morning's total solar eclipse, the best place on the planet to watch the moon totally obscure the sun, right here in this tiny tourist town. Here's Tracy Vo with how it all unfolded.
A sunset view before midday. The light dipping away as a golden glow separates the earth from the sky. An eye-opening experience for first-timers. And an emotional one for the enthusiasts.
We've got such little time, just try and take it all in, the sunset, the planets, the actual...
There's like a sparkle around,
Sorry, can you give me a minute?
You're a bit emotional.
Yeah. Oh my God. That is the most incredible thing I've seen. It is just absolutely stunning.
As the moon crept across the sun, all eyes turned to the sky. A holiday destination turning it on, not a cloud in sight. Eclipse chasers from around the globe finding their way to the coastal hotspot for the best view on Earth of this rare spectacle.
It's just either going to hook you for life, like it did me in 1999, or you're going to be like, yeah, that was okay.
So now you understand why we're here, why we come all this way.
A solar high taking over the thousands at the Cayless viewing spot. For Chris and Louise from England, it's eclipse number 4. Their last was in Argentina.
That's right, I proposed to Louise.
That's so romantic. What did he say?
It was straight after the second diamond ring. He said, I can't promise you a diamond ring as big as that, but will you marry me?
Pre-totality celebrations at a different kind of beach party.
4 minutes to totality!
For the hundreds gathered along the coast. As the temperature dropped, the solar show took shape. A moment of standing in the shadow of the moon quickly turned to elation.
Can't really describe it, can't put into words. You had to experience it to really know what happened, yeah. It was pretty unreal, yeah.
Well, it was an ominous, subdued, calm set over the water and over the grass. It was amazing.
And I heard you say, what else did you notice?
The birds were going a bit funny.
How did you feel during totality?
Oh, it's emotional. You get all teary. I've still got it.
For Karatha father Scott Varvel, this experience was 20 years in the making. The Ningaloo eclipse, a family affair with his 6 kids in tow.
Unbelievable. Absolutely blew our minds, everyone, more than we expected.
On the water, eclipse cruisers dotted the ocean. A minute to remember for the young and the older.
The corona was amazing. It was better than what I expected.
I knew about it, but when we saw it happen, it was unbelievable.
Wow, that was a once-in-a-lifetime sort of thing to see. Couldn't believe it. Yeah, really, really good.
Have you experienced an eclipse before?
First one. So yeah, this is a bucket list item for me.
It was a magical one, and we've been travelling for 11,000 kilometres to see this for 1 minute.
An eclipse community gaining a few followers after a once-in-a-lifetime experience like this.
I think it's probably turned us into, we didn't know there was a word for it, but umbraphiles, I think, is the term that's getting thrown around now.
What does that mean?
I think it means you're an eclipse chaser. I think it means you've got the bug and now you're hooked on it.
And that is the sentiment going through town. First time is now converted to Eclipse believers. It's been quite fascinating seeing the town transform in the past week while being here. So many different accents, thousands of people travelling from all around the world to come here to the coastal town. We know that Exmouth is known for whale sharks, swimming, snorkelling, fishing, but now it'll also be known to have the total solar eclipse of 2023, Michael.
Some people are going to remember it for the rest of their life. Tracy, thank you. Well, for the dozens of astrophysicists, scientists and astronomers, today wasn't just about watching the eclipse, but it was about work, their telescopes, capturing moments that will help us all better understand the phenomenon that is space. The eclipse attracted thousands of amateur space enthusiasts. They helped make it such an extraordinary event. There they are, front and centre, fully kitted out with their own special setup. But for a small band of scientists, this was serious work, though still an unforgettable thrill.
How awesome was that? That was fantastic.
Matt Woods from Perth Observatory spent 6 years preparing for today's eclipse and admits he felt the pressure.
Just on the time and date feed that we were recording to, it's over 2 million people viewed it, so no pressure there.
Our equipment, our crew, the live stream dream team have just worked flawlessly.
This was truly amazing. It's always, always surprising to see how quick it happens.
Professor David Blair is an astrophysicist with a passion for eclipses.
An eclipse is the most fabulous astronomical experience anybody can ever experience. And for me, it was my first total eclipse.
Even NASA had a serious eye on what was happening over Exmouth.
And there we go. There is your total solar eclipse.
Space is Tim Peake's life. The British astronaut has a unique understanding about our link to the moon and the sun. He travelled specially to Exmouth to witness the total eclipse firsthand.
You realise that we have this connection to the stars and the planets. It reminds us that, we're all here on Earth travelling through the solar system.
But it really doesn't matter if you are an amateur or a professional. It still makes you feel special.
It is like the solar system coming down and grabbing you by the scruff of the neck and going, look at this. It was one of the most spectacular things I've ever seen.
Shirley Biggs is with us now. And Sherry, we saw day turn to night for more than a minute. What effect did this have?
Well, Tomo, it was very strange. I'm sure you found the same thing. But at the Kayla site where both of us was, there was a gusty northeasterly breeze. And then suddenly that breeze just dropped off as the shadow started to creep across the site where we were. Now, there was a drop in temperature as well just before the eclipse. It peaked at 26 degrees in Exmouth before the apparent temperature suddenly dropped by about 4 or 5 degrees at the time of totality. Now, I've seen a lot of satellites in my time, but never one like this. Take a look at that shadow coming up from the southwest of WA. It's unlike anything I've seen before, and it will be a while before we see it again. The next total eclipse in Australia is in around 5 years' time. I don't know about you, but I'm hooked.
Absolutely spectacular, Sherry. Well, the partial solar eclipse that we saw in Perth was a major draw card, as 70% of the moon covered the sun. Hundreds gathered at vantage points across the city, keen to play their part in history.
A memorable minute for Perth sun gazers. Cheering a total eclipse on the big screen at Yagan Square. 500 people packing in for the solar show.
Whoa. It
It's very exciting because it hasn't happened in so long.
It was just like a black ball with fire coming out of it. It was so, honestly, it was so cool, and this is my first ever eclipse I've ever seen.
CBD workers and families spilling into the streets to catch a glimpse of Perth's own partial eclipse.
Fantastic day to get out and see Perth and come and check out something for the kids.
Armed with phones, pinhole cameras and cardboard contraptions.
Homemade box. Took 5 minutes.
Much easier than finding a pair of solar glasses.
Correct.
I've always really liked space, so having an eclipse here is really cool.
Special cameras capturing the spectacle around 11:20 a.m, 7 minutes earlier than Exmouth.
It kind of looked like the moon went orange.
Yeah. How cool was it?
Really cool. It looked like the sun was black in the middle.
That was absolutely incredible. You could just see like most of the sun carved out.
And while day hasn't turned into darkness here in Yagan Square, the people of Perth have still been treated to 70% totality. Looking up at the sun, it makes it appear as if it's crested. In the hills, 200 turning out at the observatory for a sellout event.
At the moment, the sun actually looks like the moon. It looks like what you would see in a picture book, the perfect crescent. Oh, it's so exciting.
Schools soaking up the fading sunlight safely at Scarborough Beach.
Slowly disappearing away, the sun, and it's exciting to watch.
It was fun to be here with everyone, just enjoying being out in the outdoors.
The Out of This World event captured in suburban backyards. In Yanchep, little Daniel watched the show through a piece of paper. In the state's south, a welding helmet provided protection in Waroona as we all witnessed a cosmic tango that won't be seen again by West Australians for another 5 years. Jack Hahn, 9 News.
Well, another big crowd is gathering here. They've got a light show on tonight to cap off what has been a huge week, an historic week, and from all of the team from Channel 9 up here in Exmouth. Mon, it's back to you in the studio. We've loved it.
What a week. Michael, thank you. Returning to our top report tonight, and 2 people on board a light plane have swum to shore after it crashed off Leighton Beach just after 5 o'clock. Jack Hahn, what's the latest?
Well, this is a late-breaking story. Take a live look behind me. You can see that water police have arrived here at Leighton Beach. They're 50 metres offshore from where this airplane crashed. Take a look at the pictures just into the newsroom. We now know that that aircraft that is submerged into the water is a Cessna Bird Dog. On board 2 people, a 45-year-old woman who was piloting the aircraft and her 15-year-old son. Miraculously, they have both survived. Police have confirmed that they're doing okay at this hour. St John Ambulance had sent 3 crews down to this area to treat them. Let's take a listen to what witnesses saw in the moments surrounding the crash.
And it was just getting lower and lower, and then when it started to go like that, and then I realised it was going to crash. Then Mum was shouting and saying, "This plane's nosediving." I thought it was one of those planes that you come in and land on the water. And by the time we turned around, myself and the gentleman, Howard, that's when the plane just hit the water.
Now, as we join you at this hour, we can see members of the police force on the beach. They're actually looking at what's happening there. The aircraft is now fully submerged. You can't see it here from the beach. Police will now begin an investigation. Then other authorities will come in to piece together how this happened. But just recapping that breaking news, 2 people have survived this plane crash. A 45-year-old woman who was piloting the aircraft and her 15-year-old son.
Jack Hahn with the latest from Leighton Beach. Thank you. The biggest overhaul of the Reserve Bank.